Since junior achievement reaches more than 4 million students in the United States, you can only imagine the differences between a school in a big city and a school in a rural area, an inner city school and a suburban school. And though we use the word school a lot, some JA classes are taught in after-school programs, and the economic differences between facilities can be profound.
I've had the pleasure of teaching at schools that are in mass market, low moderate income areas. I've had the pleasure of being a teacher in the high value sector, if you will, or fluent. Kids have the same hunger. You know, they have the same passion to learn and grow. You know, their environment always doesn't define their abilities. My responsibility is to make sure that we plant a seed of hope, opportunity, regardless of where they're from. I grew up in South Los Angeles, you know, and I'm here today as a proud banker running a large territory. I didn't let the community, the perceptions of the community define me.
Depending on which age group you are teaching, you will see different behavior in the students.
I like this age group because these kids are getting ready to go out in the real world. This is their last year of high school. Some of these kids, because I have worked in some at-risk programs where a lot of the kids will not go to college, their grades aren't good enough, or they don't want to go, they're going to go off in the military, they're going to go out and get real jobs. I kind of represent the voice of reason for them. I kind of represent the real world to them. It's not just somebody coming in and teaching out of a textbook. You know, I really focus on the real world and what it's going to be like for them when they walk out the doors of high school. Because I remember, for me, it was kind of traumatic. You know, you go out there and you're in the real world now. A lot of them are going to move away from home, and it's just a way to kind of get them rooted in reality.
The behavior while the volunteers are in the classroom is better than the norm. I think that when a visitor comes into the room, the kids are a little better behaved, but as they become used to the visitor, they kind of revert back to their old ways of sometimes talking out or getting overly excited. They'll raise their hand and hop up and down and make funny noises.
Students at the elementary level tend to ask many questions. They want rationale. They want to know why. Why is this? Why is that? They're also very touchy.
In the classroom, one of the kids, a little girl, suddenly hugged me. I just couldn't just push it away, so I just give her a short hug, and then she went away. And I was okay having the hug because it was in an open space in front of everybody, including the teacher.
I expected some of the younger children to not know as much about business and not know as much about finance, but when you really start speaking to them, they had some amazing ideas, especially with respect to entrepreneurism, because they had ideas with marketing and posting things on the internet and marketing with Google AdWords that kind of blew me away, because we had one activity that was how to market your restaurant. And so I asked them if they knew what marketing was, and they didn't know what the definition of marketing was. But then once I explained it, I asked them, what are some marketing ideas that you would impart with respect to your business? And they started coming up with ideas of targeting certain ethnicities with Google AdWords, and this was the third grade. So I thought that was really impressive, and it made me really hopeful for the future of this country.
When the volunteers do come into the classrooms, they're greeted with smiles, they're greeted with hugs, and they are absolutely engaged in the lessons because they are very hands-on, and they are standards-based as well. They are provided real-world experiences. One example that I can relate to from a personal experience is I had a junior achievement volunteer come into my classroom teaching the students the differences between needs and wants. And oftentimes our children can be very egocentric, and it's all about what they want. And once they do realize that there is a difference between a need and a want in our society, you can see that light bulb go on to really value what is really important and the importance of survival.
Kids are very honest. They want to know what do you do and how much money you make. And so they're able to ask some of these questions and get real answers.
I think that she looked very pretty. She looked very important to me. Yeah, and I really liked her shoes.
My favorite part about Miss Annabelle was that she wasn't scared to go in front of all those kids.
I learned about how businesses can grow around the world and just all the capital resources.
Well, some of the differences that I've noticed in teaching elementary school versus high school and everything in between was that You know, with the elementary school kids, they were full of this optimism, and when I speak with respect to some of the ideas that they had and their brilliant entrepreneurial ideas, that came a lot from the elementary school students. And when we move towards the high school students, you really start having real world concerns from them. They're entering the real world, they're gonna be taking on debt, they're gonna be having responsibilities, they're gonna be having jobs. So in the high school level, it was questions like, you know, how do I pay my taxes? What taxes do I have to pay? What insurance do I need? How should I use my credit cards? Do I need credit cards? How am I gonna live? And so those were the real world concerns that kind of came out in the high school level. And so that was a challenge for us as educators in JA to really address those concerns.
All these young people connect to money in some way, shape, form, or fashion. They get that part. And so when you ask them the question why, even in an economics class, you have to ultimately get to the end game. I want to have a better life.
If we give some concepts to the students, in other words, learn how to do a budget, learn how to understand your paycheck, understand what your wages are worth. I kind of look at it as if it helps them when they go out in the real world, it's going to help them be a little bit more competitive. It's going to make them a little bit more understanding of what their value is, what they can contribute themselves, and kind of help get them off on the right foot.
When I was a freshman, I was assigned this class, and in my future, I really didn't want to have my own business. I actually wanted to pursue sports, and I always wanted to be a basketball player. I decided that I want to get a business major and get my MBA.
My grades have gone up from D's and F's to C's and B's because I realized I needed school.
You can just say something, but if you let them do it by themselves and experience it, then that would be much more than just words. You can see the reality of it, the true meaning of it when you experience it by yourself.
When Junior Achievement first started, I wasn't good at numbers and everything, and now I'm better at it, especially in math. Yeah, my parents are a lot happier with me now when I'm come home from school and stuff.
We learn more because Mr. Brown's a good teacher also, but we just learn different than what Mr. Brown teaches.
In anything that you do, you have to have passion. You know, I feel like if you have passion, that alone will lead you to just want to do anything in your power to make it successful. I feel like in a business, people get up in the morning, they're like, oh my God, I gotta go to work, I don't wanna work with this person or this person. But entrepreneurship is about finding what you're passionate about. Do you like helping people, or do you like baking cakes or whatever? And you turn that into a business, you turn that into something that you can work with people. I feel like something that I've learned is that the overall opportunity to form a bond that at the same time benefits so many people.
As a JA volunteer, you will encounter many different types of students, so it's best to be prepared for anything. Be sure to ask the JA staff for information about the school at which you'll be volunteering.